no previous experience, no university degree, not good with math, and absolutely suck in memorizing things. In a previous video, I talked about how I got a job as a junior front-end developer with no experience at all. If you want to check this video, it's gonna be in the description below. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you how I would go about getting a job as a front-end developer if I had to start again. In first month, I would start looking at HTML and CSS. They are not programming languages, but hypertext markup languages. HTML is used for structuring the page and structuring the content that is going to be displayed on the page. CSS, on the other hand, helps you to style the website. For instance, this button, you will be able to change the color, the shape, and the size of the button. So that's why we use CSS for. And it's really necessary to understand HTML, CSS, because as a junior developer, that's probably what you're gonna be doing, styling buttons, changing changing text colors, and etc. So highly recommend start with HTML, CSS. I would highly recommend to spend at least a month. Some people saying you can learn it in 1 week or 2 weeks, but I believe 1 month is absolutely the minimum time that you should be spending on HTML, CSS. I would start with FreeCode Academy, and I would definitely finish the whole section, which is responsive web design. And at the end, you will have to finish few projects and you will get that certification. So highly recommend, definitely do it if you want to be a front-end developer and you can move on to another step. I would also look at Skillshare, because that's what I've done when I was learning, and when I look back, it really helped me to scale my knowledge in HTML and CSS to another level. So I highly recommend. I'll put the link below to a Skillshare. You can get 7 days free. After a month practicing HTML and CSS, I would look at a Bootstrap. It's a framework that helps you to build web pages way faster than with HTML and CSS. It might be a little bit confusing in the beginning, because when you open Bootstrap, there is so much code. And I remember in my own experience, when I first saw Bootstrap, I was confused. I was literally didn't know what's going on. So don't worry, don't stress out. Definitely it's a journey where you need to be coming back and practicing. So highly recommend Bootstrap, because that will definitely help you to build anything way faster. Like, you will save 80% of your time building something with Bootstrap than with HTML, CSS. I would start building projects with Bootstrap for my own portfolio. From my own experience, I remember that I was building websites with HTML, CSS that didn't make sense. They were from top of my head and it didn't look really good. So what you should do, or what I recommend to do, is to look at the websites like Tesla, Apple, and use Bootstrap to build the exactly same clone of the website, because that's probably what you're gonna be doing as a junior web developer. You will receive a design from UX designer and you have to follow along and you have to make it exactly the same. If I had to become a junior web developer again, I would definitely build at least 2 clones of any websites that I like. So your 3rd and 6th month, you should have a decent knowledge of HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap, and you should have at least 2 projects built for your own portfolio. And this time it's gonna be really difficult, and if you wanna become a front-end developer, I highly recommend to look at JavaScript. I remember when I look at JavaScript, I was completely confused, because transferring from HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap to JavaScript is basically another level. As I said, those are not programming languages, but markup languages, and JavaScript is a programming language. I remember when I was learning JavaScript, I could not get it. I had to go back to my studies over and over, and it was like endless loop. I recommend learning vanilla JavaScript without any libraries, or frameworks like React, Vue.js, or Angular. They basically help you to build stuff way faster, with less code, and in more organized way. But in order to learn this framework, you should be familiar with vanilla JavaScript. When I look at my studies, how I go about learning JavaScript, I noticed that the best improvement was when I found Teamthreehouse. It's a little bit of investment, but when I look back on my journey, that definitely pushed me way forward, and that's something that you need to consider. You either gonna look at YouTube where everything is for free, but it's not in the organized way, and most of the time you don't have like stops where you can do some tests, and then another stop where you create projects. Teamthreehouse provides you everything, and I found that I could memorize way more than just watching YouTube. So I will put a link below so you can check it out for yourself. After having some knowledge with JavaScript, I highly recommend to build a small e-commerce store where customer will be able to add to the basket and go to checkout page. I believe this project will help you to stand out from the crowd, because I follow the route building weather app and to-do list, which almost everybody makes. So you don't really stand out on the interview with the other person. And if I had to look back, I would definitely build e-commerce store where you add stuff to the basket, you go to the checkout page, maybe even some login. Once I will have 2 projects with Bootstrap and 1 project with JavaScript, probably the e-commerce store, I would start looking at places where I can host my projects, where recruiters can go, see my portfolio, and they can click and go to the website. They can browse the website, browse the e-commerce store, and they can see it live. I would definitely check out this guy. It's absolutely free, and he will be using Gatsby, which is a React framework. It's super easy to do it, and you will present your portfolio better than 99% of people that are applying for a job. Once I've got my projects imported, they are live so I can see them, I will start applying for a job, and in the meantime I would start learning React. I hope this video was helpful, and if you got any questions, please reach me out in the comment section below. See you next week. Cheers.